Good morning, everybody. This is our astrology weather forecast for October 13th, 2025, and it's a very multi layered day today. Moon is in Cancer, and that's not really the star of the show. That's a nice underlayment because the moon does belong in Cancer. It's the sign that it does the best in because it is its natural wavelength, motion of the ocean. So that can make things easier when we have a planet that is in a sign that it just performs its function, archetypally best in. On top of that, we've got Venus continuing into that in that semi-square that we had with Mars yesterday. So that bit of tension that can, in some cases, move things forward when it comes to certain types of pursuits or interactions. It's a very flirtatious aspect to have, but it doesn't always lend itself seamlessly to every type of relationship that requires cooperation. So we have that bit of tension that rolls over into Venus opposing Neptune as Venus enters Libra today. So, anytime Venus is in a hard aspect to Neptune, it brings up issues of idealization, potentially having a werewolf moment concerning an idealization that's already in motion, or it can bring one up to this beginning point. We're like at the peak of a potential to see things as we want them to be, and often to deny the reality of something or to deny the harshness of something. It depends on what it is that is going on, and sometimes the denial is in service to us if we're using our discernment and not allowing ourselves to like spiral back into negative interpretations or stories. It can help us to hold our higher, more ideal frequency, and that would be the best outcome of this opposition. I would say that's more rare because of the nature of the relationship between Venus and Neptune. It does help, though, that Venus is in a sign that it rules, much like the moon is coming through Cancer today and does make it easier to do the emotional thing, the business of emotions, because it is in a, archetypally pure place. Venus does serve its function well in Libra. Venus is about cooperation. It's about getting along and balance, because if you can't do that, you cannot have relationship. You can't have a relationship where it's all about me. I mean, you can, but it's not gonna be happy for the both of you. You might get everything that you want, but it's not a secure place to be. See, Venus is security. It's also relationships, it's fulfillment of the senses, and it shows us that unless we are willing to cooperate, balance, to be in relationship, then our fulfillment is a tenuous thing. It can be secure if it's rooted in mutually beneficial give and take. But if we're on the take, that puts us in a position where it's not cooperative. We don't have the agreement between the two of us. The cooperation is not the priority. So we have a period of time. Venus is going to be in Libra until November 6th. We have a period of time to work on this, to focus on this. issue of cooperation, balance, win-win situations where we both want to be there. Venus and Libra, that's its best outcome is we both choose to be there. If both people want to have the relationship, if both people are mutually invested, if both people are getting good things out of it, you got a really good chance of it working out. So we look at our weaknesses today. A lot of us do. It depends on how the opposition figures into your chart. But for the most part, I'd say the most generic interpretation, the one that's going to apply to most people with that opposition between Venus and Neptune is looking at, are we in relationship with or trying to balance with or in love with or drawn to or attracted to something that is available, good for us, real, realistic? Or are we seeing what we want to see? If we choose to see what we want to see and exist in that, that's a very insecure place to be. There's this free floating anxiety that just is puts you on edge. You're poised, waiting for the other shoe to drop. I don't have that feeling of when is it all gonna evaporate? When is it all gonna disappear? When am I gonna be found out? I don't have that when we're in true communion, true cooperation, which Venus and Libra is urging us to learn. We don't have to fear something disappearing or losing it from our grasp if we both want to be there. But that does require a willingness to participate, a willingness to direct our conscious willpower toward that goal of cooperation, balance, and harmony. So adding to that, we have Pluto stationing and going direct today. This is going to further many, many instances of moving forward with a better, more correct, more healthy, life-affirming, constructive interpretation of balance, cooperation, and what it is to be we. Socially, this has a lot of implications that we have this particular willingness to work with our balance, having a better interpretation of the enemy. It's Venus, Neptune, and Venus in a social sign, being a social planet, Pluto going direct at the same time. It's more likely that we are going to act on more idealistic, more humanitarian, more inclusive aspects of what it is that we define, what our values are, to move in the direction of affirming or constructing or participating socially and something that's more cohesive and defining the values that we see can be I guess better understood. You know, what is it that you're for? What is it you can't agree on rather than what is it that you disagree on? Let's focus on what we can agree on, what we can balance on, what we can actually work on, because that's where our power lies, is in more of that cohesiveness or that togetherness. So we will likely see social movements, protests, pushback, that has more people that traditionally would identify themselves as being against or as the enemy or in opposition coming together in some ways. It's not going to be our worldwide kumbaya moment, guys, but there is some movement in the direction of cohesion so we can make things that are good for all of us happen or manifest. So that's what I got. Talk to you later.